For her new male assistant's birthday. My wife dropped a fortune on a luxury mansion as a present. On Movie-In Day. Zane Parker posted a smug photo to Instagram to show off. Landed myself a sugar mama. Just so everyone knows. My wife. Serena Vanderbilt. Commented right below. Happy birthday. My dear Zane. The photo showed the assistant with his arm wrapped tight around my wife's slim waist. As intimate as could be. The company Slack channel blew up instantly. Everyone gushed about how lucky Zane was. Complimenting him on being young and wildly successful. Autumn Reed. My childhood best friend who'd grown up with me. Saw the post and tagged me directly in the group chat. Teasing. Looks like someone's getting cheated on. Big time. Congratulations. Ethan Hale. I smiled bitterly. Stubbed out my cigarette. And typed slowly in reply. Autumn. You want a house? I'll get you one too. Nicer than the one she gave him. Promise. The second I sent that. The channel spammed hundreds of messages in an instant. Here goes the kept man spouting nonsense again. LMAO. Only an idiot like Autumn Reed would buy that. Right. It takes all kinds to make a world. But can he at least not bullshit in the company chat? What a total jerk. Flirting right in front of Ms. Vanderbilt. I can only imagine how wild he gets behind closed doors. Zane the assistant even lectured me like he was my senior. Ethan. You joined 5 years ago and you're still stuck in the same position. Ms. Vanderbilt should be embarrassed to have a husband like you. You need to work harder. Try to be more like me. All these years. To spare Serena's pride and feed her drive to succeed on her own. I'd kept my real identity and achievements hidden. I'd worked quietly as a rank-and-file employee. Supporting her from the shadows. With my family's monopoly of core industry resources. She'd sealed deal after deal. Rising to her current title as the head of Vanderbilt Corporation. And naturally, I'd picked up the label of a kept man. None of it had ever bothered me. I just never thought she'd ever betray me. Right then. Serena tagged me publicly in the 1,000-strong company chat. Ethan Hale. Listen to Zane's advice. He's better than you in every way. Ooh. That's a loaded statement. Every way does that include that way? LMAO. Such a shame. Ethan's built like a tank. But he's no good in bed. Huh. Guess the Hale family line is gonna die out with him. The chat erupted in jeers. That last line getting spammed over and over. Then a series of messages cut through the noise. All from Autumn. You're all a bunch of idiots. You'd kiss the ground Serena walks on if she told you to. What? You gonna line up to mourn her when she kicks the bucket? I couldn't help laughing at her messages. She'd always been the type to speak her mind. Ever since we were kids. The chat went dead silent. No one expected Autumn to unleash like that. Right out in the open. Serena saw the messages and flew into a furious, embarrassed rage. Autumn Reed. You're fired. I replied right after her. If Autumn's fired. Then I quit too. Everyone burst out laughing even harder. How romantic. The doomed lovebirds sticking together. So touching. LMAO. This loser actually thinks he matters. Let me tell you, this company will only get better once you're gone. For real. Though. No one expected what came next. 3 seconds later. Serena called me. Sharp and accusatory from the first word. Ethan Hale. What the hell stunt are you pulling? Delete that message right now. And I'll let everyone pretend this never happened. No point deleting it. I'm serious about quitting. Ethan. So I called you out in front of everyone, big deal. And Zane is talented. Stop being so petty and small-minded. Would you? Act like a man. Her words left me speechless. After a long beat. I made up my mind. Fine. I'll be the bigger person. Serena. Let's get a divorce. There was a beat of silence on her end. Then she scoffed. Voice dripping with contempt. Ethan. I'm warning you, don't try to threaten me with divorce. It won't work. I'm not coming home tonight. You sit there and think about what you did. Show up to work tomorrow once you've remembered your place. She was just as arrogant as ever. The line went dead before I could reply. She meant to have forgotten who'd given her the power to talk to anyone like that. I got to the office early the next morning. The second I walked in, everyone turned to stare and snicker. Well, look who's here. I thought the kept man was quitting. What are you just standing around for? Yeah. You were so tough yesterday. Thought Mr. Hale was too good to work with the rest of us. There's no reasoning with people who can't see past their own noses. I didn't have time for them. Just then, Zane Parker, Serena's personal assistant, stepped out of her office, speaking like he was some seasoned veteran. "TSK. See. I knew you'd show up. Like I said, young people need to keep their cool. There's always something to learn from people above you. From now on, everyone can learn a thing or two from Ethan here." Zane was Serena's golden boy right now. Even though the staff hated his wannabe boss act, they mumbled half-hearted agreements. Basking in the attention, Zane turned back to me and clapped me on the shoulder, acting like he was doing me a favor. "Oh, by the way, I talked to Ms. Vanderbilt. From now on, I'll be mentoring you. I'll get you on more projects. Help you move up the ladder." I didn't even glance at him. I lit a cigarette and took a slow drag. "No thanks. What's an assistant like you gonna teach me? Besides, I'm quitting today. No need for the trouble." The whole office gasped. Someone snickered. "Damn. Dude. I'll admit I wrote you off before. But that was cold." Someone else muttered. "Holy shit. Look at Zane's face, all red then white. That's so satisfying." Another chimed in. "Quiet but pleased. Work's already miserable enough without posers like Zane showing off. This just made my day." Zane was humiliated, seething inside. But he had nothing to snap back with. He just stared daggers at me. I ignored him, packing up my things at a lazy pace. When he realized he couldn't get a rise out of me, Zane stormed off to Serena's office, furious. A minute later, Serena marched out, her eyes cold and fixed on me. I didn't pay her much mind. I was almost done packing. I picked up my box and headed for the door. "Move. You're in my way." Serena raised an eyebrow, her voice icy. "Quit if you want, I don't need dead weight like you around. But before you go, you owe Zane an apology." "Huh? Apologize for what?" I asked, confused. "Zane offered to mentor you and help you get promoted, and you acted like a total jerk about it. You don't think you owe him an apology?" Serena's voice rose sharply. The whole office went dead quiet. Tension thick enough to cut. I didn't want to argue with her, it was pointless. I turned to Zane and mumbled a quick sorry, then turned to leave. But Serena stepped in front of me, refusing to let it go. "Ethan Hale. You call that an apology?" Zane stepped up beside her. "Ethan. Young people can't be this reckless and impulsive. You need to learn to be more mature." Mature? My ass. These two were actually insane. I'd had enough. I shoved Zane hard out of my way. It wasn't even that hard of a push. But he stumbled and fell to the floor, wincing like he was hurt. "Ethan." Serena panicked. She rushed over and slapped me hard across the face. My cheek burned. Then she shoved me aside like I was nothing, and knelt down to help Zane up, her face tight with concern. "Zane, are you okay? Did you hurt yourself? Let me take you to the hospital." I had no idea what I was to Serena anymore. We'd been married 8 years, and I'd never seen her look that worried about anyone. Once, I'd broken my leg pushing her out of the way of a car. She hadn't said a single kind word. Just called me careless. Said I'd gotten what I deserved. And now Zane faked a fall. And she was already dialing 911. Maybe she really did love him. I didn't care to dig into it anymore. "Serena. My lawyer will send over the divorce papers tomorrow. We're done." With that, I walked away and never looked back. The wind bit at my skin as I walked. My chest felt hollow, like I'd lost my home. That night, Serena stumbled home drunk in the middle of the night. "Zane. Come on. Let's go to the bathroom." The second she opened the door, she threw herself into my arms, reeking of heavy perfume. She kissed my neck, and all I felt was sick to my stomach. I shoved her away hot, without my arms to hold her up. She stumbled and fell to the floor. Why'd you push me?" "Zane. Don't you know I'm carrying our baby?" She whimpered, all hurt and upset. "What if something happens to our baby?" "What?" I thought I'd misheard her. "Serena. Say that again." "Our baby. Zane. Don't you remember?" That night she mumbled, too drunk to make sense. I'd thought Serena could never get to me again. But in that moment, I completely lost it. I grabbed her by the collar, yelling like a man possessed. "All these years we've been married. I've wanted a kid. You always said it would ruin your career. That we'd wait. I believed you. But you go and get pregnant with Zane's kid. You've been playing me for a fool this whole time. Serena. How could you do this to me? She never answered. She was too drunk to even be conscious. I stood alone in the living room. Voice cracking. Sobbing. Asking the same question over and over. Why? Serena passed out on the floor. My throat went raw from crying. And finally I went quiet. Just then, her phone pinged with 2 messages. I caught a glimpse of my name. So I unlocked it and read. Zane. Don't be scared of Ethan. He's a total pushover. Once the baby's born, I'll tell him it's his. He'll raise it for us. No questions asked. Zane had written back. So don't divorce him yet. Or we'll be stuck raising the kid ourselves. Or just get rid of it. I don't want to be a dad. Sounds annoying as hell. Yeah. Right. I wiped the tears from my eyes and laughed coldly. Serena. 8 years. I gave you everything I had. You wanted deals. I got them for you. You wanted power. I built it for you. And now you betray me. Plot against me with some guy. Let me tell you something. Your little lucky streak is over. That night, I packed all my things and moved out of the house we'd shared. I'd never come back. Let this place bury the stupid, naive love I'd had for her. I drove all night back to Maplewood, my hometown. My parents had left the lights on for me. Like I'd told them I was coming. Ethan. Where's Serena? Why are you alone? My mom peered past me, seeing only me stepping out of the car. I sighed. Exhaustion heavy in my eyes. Mom. Serena and I are getting a divorce. What? Both my parents looked shocked. But my dad spoke up quickly. Good riddance. I could tell from the start that girl only cared about status and money. Being with someone like that long term. It's dangerous. My parents had never approved of the marriage. I'd been stupid enough to believe our love would be enough. Now I saw I'd just been fooling myself this whole time. Come on inside. I'll make you some homemade chicken noodle soup. Mom led me in. And finally I had something warm to eat. My dad asked. Running all those companies must be exhausting. Huh? Not really. Dad. All these years. To feed Serena's ambition and let her feel like she'd earned her success on her own. I'd never told her who I really was. To her, I was just a guy with great industry connections. She had no idea all those connections were just my family's own companies, the Hale Empire. To help her hit her numbers. I'd even let the Hale companies take losses on deals with her. Anything to make her big. Ruthless business dreams come true. Now that she'd betrayed me, I didn't have to cater to her overinflated ambition anymore. Business is war. Let's see how long she survives out there without me pulling the strings. The next day, Serena didn't think twice about me leaving. She was convinced I couldn't live without her, that I'd mope for a couple days and come crawling back. When she got to the office and saw the divorce papers, she paused for half a second. Fine. I'll sign, M. Even if I do. You'll never actually go through with it. That afternoon, Vanderbilt Corporation called an emergency meeting for all executives in New York City. Meanwhile, I was sitting in a cafe near my parents' house, sipping coffee and listening to a realtor walk me through luxury mansion listings. Autumn sat across from me. See one you like. All cash purchase. Yours. We can close on it tomorrow. Wow. The big Mr. Hale finally came to his senses and decided to spoil me. Huh. I reached over and booped her nose. Come on. When have I ever been cheap with you? Autumn pouted. Then frowned a little. More serious now. Hey. You're really sure about divorcing Serena? Yeah. I'm sure. Good. Then when it's final, you could consider dating me. You know. Huh. I was about to ask what she meant when my phone rang. Ethan Hale. What the hell are you doing? Serena's voice was sharp with rage. Serena. I have no idea what you're talking about. I yawned. Half paying attention. I was about to hang up when she spoke again. Seething. Right after our fight. The biggest project partner I've been negotiating with pulled out. You're gonna tell me that's a coincidence? Oh. You said it yourself, it's your project to negotiate. What does that have to do with me? I asked coldly. Serena acted like it was the most obvious thing in the world. But you've always handled all my big deals before. If something goes wrong, who else am I supposed to call? It was absurd. I couldn't believe she actually thought that way. Serena. We're getting a divorce. Stop calling me. Ethan. I hung up before she could spiral any further. That night, Autumn and I finished looking at houses. Then went to see a rom-com. After that, I drove her back to my parents' place. To my surprise, Serena was there waiting for us. When she saw me walk in with Autumn, she looked shocked for a split second. Then snapped. Ethan, have you had your little tantrum yet? When you're done, you're coming home with me. I smiled dryly. Serena, you just won't leave me alone. Will you? Even a divorce isn't enough to get rid of you. Huh? Divorce? You think that scares me? She looked totally unimpressed. If you're so dead set on getting divorced, why are you still wearing our wedding ring? Stop being ridiculous. Ethan, my patience is running thin. Come home with me right now, and I'll pretend none of this ever happened. Or you'll regret it. My parents, seeing us fight, didn't want to get involved. They headed back to the back bedroom. But Autumn stepped right up, took my hand, and slipped the ring off my finger herself. Then she tossed it straight into the trash can. She smiled sweetly at Serena. There. Happy now, Ms. Vanderbilt. Serena froze for a second, then lunged forward and grabbed Autumn's arm. Reed, what do you think you're doing? Who gave you the right to throw away our wedding ring? She raised her hand to slap Autumn, but she froze mid-motion. I'd caught her wrist tight. She tried to yank free, but she couldn't. Serena. That's enough. Serena stared at me, stunned that I'd taken Autumn's side. Her face crumpled, and she started to cry. Ethan, is this why you want a divorce? Because of her? What about 8 years of marriage? Does that mean nothing to you? I laughed. Once. Seeing her cry would have sent me panicking, scrambling to comfort her. But now I knew better. Love only matters when you give it to someone who deserves it. Someone like her didn't deserve anything. Serena. You don't get to talk about 8 years of anything. You think I don't know all the screwed up things you've done? Get out. Get out of my house. The heartbreak of it all boiled over. And I found myself crying anyway. But I swore to myself it was the last time I'd ever grieve what we had. Never again. To her, this was probably the first time I'd ever yelled at her like this. Her voice softened. Ethan. What's wrong? Why are you being like this all of a sudden? I know I've been off lately. But I was gonna tell you soon. I'm pregnant. It's yours. She pulled a pregnancy test report out of her bag and held it up. I couldn't imagine how badly I would have gotten played if I hadn't seen those texts between her and Zane. Fine. For the baby's sake. I'll come back. I smiled coldly. I'd play along with their little game. If they wanted to mess with me, I'd mess right back. Let's see who comes out on top. I gave Autumn a quick look. She caught on immediately and backed off from fighting with Serena. Serena's face lit up with obvious relief. Ethan. I knew you still cared. Listen. Those investors pulled out of the big project. Can you fix it for me? I gave her a small, cool smile. Leave it to me. Over the next week, Serena landed the biggest deal in Vanderbilt Corporation history. She shot up the ranks, nearly equal to the chairman himself. Almost overnight, Serena Vanderbilt became a household name, hailed as a rising business titan. To keep the momentum going, Serena decided to host a press conference, where she'd share her business insights with entrepreneurs across the country. Ms. Vanderbilt, how did you secure nearly $1 billion in funding in just 1 week? What's the secret to your success? Ms. Vanderbilt, has there been anyone who's had a major impact on your career? We'd love to hear about them. I stood off to the side, watching her bask in the spotlight, and I couldn't help but overhear her answer to that last question. If I had to name someone, it would be my personal assistant, Zane Parker. When she talked about him, her eyes went soft, full of affection. He's not just supported my dreams, shaped how I think about business. Without him, I never would have gotten this far. Zane, standing nearby, caught my eye and smirked, smug as could be. The press swarmed over to him next. Sir, what's your relationship with Ms. Vanderbilt outside of work? Why do you support her business dreams so fully? Rumors say you two have a very close partnership beyond work. Would you say that's true? Ahem. Zane cleared his throat, looking like he had a whole speech prepared. Every camera and flash turned to him. Thank you all for being here. Ms. Vanderbilt and I work so well together because of my own expertise, paired with her innovative business mindset. That's how we close these huge deals. As for our relationship, well, why don't you ask the man over there? Every camera turned to me. Zane went on. That's Ms. Vanderbilt's husband. Total small fry in the business world. I bet interviewing him about what it's like to live off his wife's success would get way more clicks. The second he said it, the press stampeded over to me. Sir. What's your name? Ethan Hale. Sir. Your wife is incredibly successful while you keep a low profile. Do you ever feel jealous of her? Rumors are swirling about your wife and Mr. Parker. Do you have any comment on that? Sir. Can you tell us? The reporters fired off one absurd question after another, chasing viral headlines. I just smiled faintly, pulled out a cigarette, and lit it. I counted down in my head. 3, 2, 1. Breaking news. Rising business mogul Ethan Hale acquires Vanderbilt Corporation for $10 billion. What? The crowd gasped. $10 billion. That's impossible. The corporate world is ruthless. Is Vanderbilt Corporation fresh off its big breakout week about to cease to exist? The entire press conference erupted in chaos. Then someone yelled out. That's him. That's Ethan Hale. Every camera snapped to me. I finished my cigarette, dropped it in the trash, and stepped forward. Mr. Hale, what made you decide to acquire Vanderbilt Corporation? How did you stay under the radar for so long, only to dominate the industry out of nowhere? Where did you secure the $10 billion in funding for this acquisition? Mr. Hale. Mr. Hale. I fielded question after question. Serena and Zane stood frozen in the corner, completely stunned, as the crowd pushed them aside. It's fake. It has to be. Zane shook his head wildly. He's just a kept man. What right does he have to buy our company? Serena stared at me, surrounded by reporters, and her whole world crumbled. The thought of Meher's deadbeat husband being above her in business. It was worse than death to her. Then the press noticed her shocked face and swarmed over, asking how it felt to have her own husband buy out her company. My husband bought. No. That's impossible. It's a lie. Her eyes welled with red-rimmed tears. She bit her lip hard, then finally snapped. Her voice was raw and sharp, cutting through the noise. Ethan has always lived off me. Everything he has is mine. Where would he get the money to buy Vanderbilt? It's fake. All of it. The press ate it up viral gold. Cameras flashed nonstop, capturing every second of her despair, rage, and disbelief. Serena pushed through the crowd toward me, finger pointed straight at me, voice shaking with fury. Ethan, tell me the truth. I smiled coolly. The truth is, you climbed to the top using me, and the second you thought you'd made it, you kicked me to the curb. No. You're lying. I earned everything myself. I never used you for anything. Lies never wounded anyone. The truth is the blade that cuts deepest. Serena grabbed at me, demanding answers, refusing to let go. I'd had enough. I flicked my hand, and she stumbled backward, falling to the ground. Zane rushed over right away but not to help her up. No. He turned to the cameras and yelled. Ethan Hale just pushed his pregnant wife to the ground. This is absolutely despicable. The press smelled a huge story. Cameras rolled, ready to take the whole thing out of context. Mr. Hale, is that true? Did you push a pregnant woman? Is Ms. Vanderbilt actually pregnant? I stayed calm, answering slowly. Yes. Serena is pregnant. But the crowd held its breath, waiting. It's not mine. The whole room erupted. Microphones and cameras jammed right in Serena's face. I'd ripped away every last bit of her dignity. Ethan, how? How did you know? I didn't answer. I just turned and walked away. The next day, the headline topped every trending chart in the country. Famous CEO Serena Vanderbilt built her empire on her husband's back, then cheated on him with her assistant and got pregnant. The internet is furious. Overnight, Vanderbilt Corporation was rebranded as Hale Corporation. My family's dozen other companies were reorganized as Hale Corporation subsidiaries. In just 1 month, Hale Corporation secured nearly 1,000 international partnerships. Unlike Serena, I never cared for the glitz and networking of the business world. Once Hale Corporation was solidly established, I handed over day-to-day operations to my team. I moved back to my hometown, ready to enjoy life. Before I left town for good, I met with Serena one last time. Ethan, I know I was wrong. Can we just go back to how things were? Please. She was showing now, her voice thick with tears, begging me to take her back. I'd never seen her grovel like that before. Maybe she really did regret it. But it was far too late. I kept my voice steady. No anger in it. You're carrying another man's child. How am I supposed to remarry you? You didn't actually think I'd be dumb enough to raise someone else's kid, did you? To my shock, she dropped to her knees. I can get rid of the baby, Zane's baby. I just want a fresh start with you. Please. No. You disgust me. I walked away. And I could hear her sobbing long after I'd left. The second you chose to betray me. You should have known this would happen. 2 months later, Autumn moved in with me. Being with her made me realize love is supposed to go both ways. For 8 years with Serena, I'd never felt loved back. Some of us get dipped in flat, some in satin, some in gloss. But every once in a while, you find someone who's iridescent. And when you do, nothing will ever compare. I was lucky enough to find that in Autumn. She taught me what real love feels like. Ethan, let's pick a date to get married. I want to have a baby with you. On the walk home from a date, Autumn said it. Her face flushed pink. I smiled and laced my fingers through hers. Sounds perfect. Let's have a little girl. We'll name her Little Autumn. She'll be just as cute as you. Stoop. We walked home hand in hand. The golden sunset stretched our shadows long across the pavement. I don't remember how much time passed. Then one night, very late, Serena called from an unknown number. It was the last time we ever spoke. Ethan, where are you? I'm so scared. Can you come be with me? Her voice was small, broken, crying. My wife, lying next to me, asked what was wrong. I rubbed her shoulder. Nothing. Autumn, go back to sleep. I went to hang up. But Serena spoke again. Zane had a whole family back in his hometown. He lied to me. He tricked me. I'm at the hospital alone, getting an abortion. I'm so scared. Ethan, please, please come be with me. I'm married now. Please don't call me again. I hung up. Whatever pain and despair Serena felt that night, it wasn't my problem. She'd brought it on herself. After that, I never heard anything about Serena again. I did hear from a friend about Zane. Thuft started hitting on another married woman. Walked right into a romance scam. Lost everything. And got his leg broken. His wife left him and took their son. He drank himself stupid alone every day. Until one day he got hit by a semi-truck. He was mangled so bad no one even came to claim the body. Years later, Autumn and I had a sweet, beautiful little girl. My parents were over the moon. They'd always wanted a granddaughter. And their wish finally came true. We lived together as a warm, close-knit family. Life after that was quiet, steady, and full of happiness.